Thanks for tuning in. Susan here again, obviously. I've just noticed that on this video, it looks like my jersey's on outside in. I can assure you it's not. It's just the way the thing's made. Just noticed that on camera. Anyway, obviously, I'm often sparked by something that has happened in the morning, and today it was a headline from Stephen Fry commenting on the Greg Wallace case. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, Greg Wallace upset a few people with comments that he made. Um, Raunchy comments or innuendos, I think you would call them now. Way back when he was on TV, and some of these women have now come forward, teens of years later, and said, I was upset, I was furious. And now there's a big hoo-ha, and he's been struck off some TV programs and so on. And I just feel that whilst there is no statute of limitations on really serious crime like murder, surely there's a statute of limitations on upsetting somebody or hurting their feelings. I can't believe it. And it can come back. I mean, how many teens, for instance, teenagers have said something or done something that is totally outrageous that they regret when they even reach their 20s, never mind their 50s and 60s, where they think it's gone. And if there's no statute of limitations, and that person happens to make a bit of money or becomes famous in some way, then somebody's coming to come along and say, he upset me 40 years ago. I can't live with myself. I just feel that so many of us live with a bit of banter, a bit of innuendo. Now, okay, we maybe wouldn't do it on TV because we don't know the audience that's there, but then I'm not on the TV anyway. And I know fine well that I'm going to upset some people by coming on here, but then you just don't watch my next one if you don't like it. So I'm just getting to a stage where I enjoy a bit of banter. It keeps you alert, it makes you think, it sometimes makes you, oh, that was a bit close to the board. But it's I'm not going to worry about it 17 years down the line. And more importantly, I need to, if it's something that definitely makes me feel uncomfortable, and there have been times where somebody has said something to me that has made me feel uncomfortable. I remember, I don't know what age I would have been, 10, 11 or something, when an old uncle got a bit close. Now, he didn't actually physically touch me, but the way he came close and whispered something to me, and I didn't even, I just know, I didn't understand what he said, but I knew it made me feel uncomfortable. So I backed away. I never told anybody, but I backed away, and I never allowed myself to get close to him again. Um, I discovered, anyway, that's by the by. But more importantly, in my early 20s, I was working beside somebody who was not a native Brit. Um, and as I walked past him, he slapped my backside. No! So I turned around and went, hey, enough of that. And he went, oh, I thought women like that sort of thing. And I went, well, this one doesn't. End of story. He never did it again. Um, and that's my point. You deal with it at the time. And I feel that, there are situations, for instance, in schools where there are bullies, there are people being passive aggressive at kids, and if they retaliate, they're the one in trouble. And really, what we should be doing is encouraging and educating our children to speak up if there's something uncomfortable, not to be shut up and shunned, but to speak up so that we can give them the right confidence and tools to deal with things like that. And if it kills it there and then, fine. If not, then make sure that they have somebody that cares for them, that they feel comfortable with, that they can share it with. But not to bottle it up, so that as these children become adults, they then have the confidence and the tools to make sure that they are respected. And that's where I am with this. And all too often we shut down kids because it's their imagination. Well, don't. Ask them about it. Ask them why it makes them feel uncomfortable. Talk them through it and help them with terminology and attitudes that will keep them safe in the future. Because it's not all rosy, and we don't need to get explicit. Don't get me wrong, we don't need to get explicit with these children. There are things happening out there that I wouldn't want my grandchildren to know about, because hopefully by the time they're old enough, it will have been dealt with. Um, so, uh, you know, there are always times where something will happen. We'll trust somebody that we shouldn't. We'll get tricked or scammed or whatever. But it's having the confidence to deal with that when it happens, and not to feel bad about yourself because you've had to say something unfortunate to somebody and shut them up, but to know that you're making yourself respected. Don't be cruel to other people by any manner of means, but be firm and let them know. And that's really where I am. I feel that the statute of limitations on getting upset shouldn't it be 17 years? We need to shut these things up. We need to shut them down, and people need to know how to shut them down without it ruining somebody completely. And not only that, where there has been physical assault, that is where somebody needs dealt with. But we're now in a situation where, in the UK, certainly, and I'm delighted to see Elon Musk standing up to Starmer. I've tweeted about that this morning. Oh, sorry, I've X'd about it. I don't know how to say that. Um, we always used X for kisses, so I've kissed about it this morning. But yeah, we're now in a situation in the UK where folk are getting locked up for something they wrote on Facebook a year ago. It shouldn't. Words are words, and yes, they can hurt, but the intent should also be taken into consideration, the situation at the time. Um, so I really feel that things are getting totally out of hand. If you don't like what somebody says, tell them there and then and get it stopped. Make it clear it makes you uncomfortable. Then they'll go and say it to somebody else. You just need to read J.D. Kirk's books to know that banter is an excellent method of communication. Um, Maybe I should just add in his insult website, because boy, can they get good at times. But that's just me. I like that sort of thing. And whilst there uses words I would never dream of using, and certainly not in mixed company, it makes me smile because I can appreciate the humour in the banter. And that's where we need to be. If the banter's deliberately intended to hurt, don't be cruel to people. We don't need that. But if it's humorous and meant to be humorous, loosen up, people, please, and learn to shut things down at the time and deal with it. Have the confidence to make sure that you as an individual are respected, that your children are respected, that all adults, male, female, don't make me say anything in between because I'm not going there, are respected and can feel safe in their own environment as much as possible. There you go. That was me for this morning. I forgot to say that it's the 3rd of December. It's my daughter's birthday. Yay! And it's just after 11:30 in the morning UK time. So again, I'll say thank you very much for tuning in. I love to see your comments. Love, live, love, be happy.